Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video we are doing a stair nosing installation on this staircase here using vinyl plank flooring. So here at Step Up we can take vinyl plank flooring and modify it into these rounding nosing pieces. So what you see happening here is the prep work. We always dry fit all of our boards before we start the actual installation process. So in most of our videos, we like to show you the installation, but today we're doing a little bit of the actual dry fitting process. The reason that we do this is because, as you can see here, our installer has to be standing on the stairs to do this. Often we're going up and down, we're going outside the property to do cutting. You can see them going there. And lots of finicky things here and there. If we'd already installed the nosings on those bottom steps there, then we would be walking up and down on them and possibly cutting them, moving them out of place. So that is why we do this dry fitting. So you're seeing a few different techniques here. You saw on that first board that we had to use the jigsaw to cut out around a component there. We're now going around some established door frames here, and so what we're choosing to do is to actually cut out a little bit of the bottom. We do this by actually placing the saw on top of a vinyl plank board so that we know we're getting it to the right height. When you are installing vinyl plank flooring, you do need to take the baseboards out. However, often with these door frames, you're not going to be fully replacing those. And so these are the instances where we're going to choose to cut underneath so that you don't then have to be adding another trim around it to get it perfect. All right, so you're seeing a lot of fairly traditional practices here on how to cut and prep vinyl plank flooring. Depending on the thickness of the vinyl, you can cut it with an X-Acto knife like you saw there. Even though this is a small space, you will see us doing some variation. Instead of just running a whole bunch of boards straight across, it's not going to have that same look that it's going to be above and below. And so we're purposely doing some boards all the way across and some with the cuts in between. Always with any vinyl plank installation, that last board is always going to be the hardest. You got to get the width there, but you also got to take into account the fact that when you're clicking it into place, it does move back. Also, getting it down and in while keeping it nice and tight to the edge there is really important. So now that we've got it all set up, we're actually going to put it all back out again in order and set it aside, and then get everything nice and ready for our installation. Of course, this includes a really good clean. So for these bottom stairs, as you can see, these are coming down into a basement and they are open on the back. So that installation is going to be a little bit different in that we are not going to need risers. Some people would choose to actually build them in as we do the installation, but this particular customer didn't have a problem with it being open. The basement itself is not finished, but she just wanted the continued vinyl look on the stairs from this angle that you are seeing, so that when you are at this landing and going upstairs, you are seeing those finished vinyl treads going on. So as I mentioned, these were all dry fit in advance. The second boards were cut, the lengths were put into place, and so all we're doing at this point is doing the actual installation. As you'll find in lots of our other detailed tutorial videos that you can find on our channel here by hitting that subscribe button or by checking out our website at stepupvinyl.ca. We are using that PL Premium as the adhesive to put these nosings into place. Again, you can see that the installer is trying their best to not step on the stairs as much as possible for the majority of the installation. And then when they do need to eventually, we're making sure that that step is straight up and down on the nosing so that it is not getting shifted out of place. The PL Premium takes 48 hours to fully cure. After 24 hours, it's pretty set into place, but those first 24 are really important. So we do generally recommend for our customers not to be walking on the stairs, but our installers have done this so many times that they do know how to do it properly so that they are not moving them out of place. And as you can see, ideally not stepping on them at all as much as possible. So those first 4 steps were pretty straightforward. This top one, you saw it coming in, it had that little notch out that was needed there. And then obviously we get a lot more complicated as we get to the top up here. For a small landing like this one, we are going to actually continue to add the adhesive on every single plank along it. We do get a lot of comments when customers see us doing this, or people on YouTube see us doing this, and talk about the floatingness of vinyl plank flooring. And we just want to mention that this is not how you're installing a full floor with vinyl plank flooring. This is very specific to us installing these stair and stair nosings and these particularly small landings that are going on. The reason that we need to add the adhesive in the small landings is because they are attached to that stair nosing there. And so that nosing needs to be in place. And if you were putting the rest of the boards in place not adhered, then if they were trying to move around, it could be knocking this nosing out. As you can see, we had already dry fit this one to go around this piece, so we are installing it back. This is the base foot for a sliding folding door that the customer often has for those bottom stairs. A little bit of a camera angle change there so that we can then go ahead and install this landing without standing on those bottom stairs that have been installed. All right, so we're obviously speeding this one up so that it's a bit quicker for you to see when we're doing this installation. Those of you that are curious, this took about 20 minutes to do the install on, but that's because everything was pre-cut and ready to go. So we just got that adhesive down. You can put it on the back of the boards or you can put it on the floor underneath. This installer prefers to put it on the floor underneath just to keep things nice and easy as they are going into place. We are focusing on making sure that that left-hand side on the camera is the tightest because there is no trim or anything that's going to be going there. Whereas on the right-hand side, that is going to be a riser for the next staircase. And so while we do still need it pretty tight, we do have that little bit of wiggle room that will be covered by that riser. And so we're okay to let that be our flux side. So again, getting that final adhesive into place, and we're going to be getting those final boards into place with the emphasis being on that final board. Even though we know it fits, it can always be a little bit of a wiggle to get it to actually be in, with that being with the click system, as it is meant to have that backwards pressure. And so you can see us using that tool there to get that pressure to get it to click. All right, so we are on to this final staircase. This one, different than the basement in that it does have the risers there currently. This particular customer wants white risers. Oftentimes we make the risers right out of the vinyl plank flooring. We would cut it in both directions to make it fit. But the trend now is the white risers. A number of customers have asked us about simply making and installing the treads and nosings, and they would just paint the existing risers white. And there's two main reasons why we don't do that. Number one, in any homes that we've been in where somebody has painted the risers white, within about 6 months, they're running into problems with it. No matter how glossy of a finish you get, you're just not going to be able to wipe down and clean as often and as extensively a painted surface. And that back kick board that a riser is on stairs, it's getting a lot of traffic, and especially in an entranceway here where people would still be wearing their shoes at this point, it's going to get a lot of debris and dirt on it. And so that is something that's going to have to be repainted on the regular because of all of that cleaning, pulling it off. And as you know, if only portions of it are getting pulled off, or you're repainting regularly, it can just get really, really messy. And so we do always recommend that we are putting a riser into place. The ones that we use are technically an MDF, but they have a white coating on them. They are not painted. So it already has a shiny, easy to clean surface on it. The other reason that we recommend this is you get a much cleaner finish on your final job. So as you can see, this nosing and tread is getting put into place, and our installers really are phenomenal at getting it to be as tight a fit as possible. But especially on stairs like this that have been in home for a while, there's always going to be slight variation. And so that back edge that's against the riser is going to get covered by the next riser. So if there is slight variations, or if it isn't quite all the way to the back, or that long cut that you're doing on the saw makes any sort of little slight nicks out of the edge, that's okay, because it's going to be covered by the edge of this riser that's being put into place. So you can see it going in there, and it's just going to give such a clean, beautiful finish once we get it into place. And that's going to be really awesome. So again, we use this tool a lot. These stairs were quite wonky, very well loved and used. And so just getting that into place. The other nice thing about this is that now if the top of that riser, this one obviously was quite tight, but if there was a slight gap or any variation there, it's then going to get covered by the next nosing lip that goes into place. So this is why we insist on having a riser when we're doing our installation. But it's also the reason that we install from the bottom up and to the top. Lots of people that watch our videos for the first time are quite concerned, or, want to make a recommendation that maybe we should go to the top, from the top to the bottom. Well, we understand your reasoning for that, being that you don't have to be standing on the recently installed and glued stairs. This ordering and therefore getting those beautiful finished edges is the reason that we do it the way that we do it. We've been doing it for quite a while now. We have hundreds of very, very happy customers. And so this is our recommendation when we are doing it. If you're interested in having us come out and do a staircase for you, please check out our website at stepupvinyl.ca. We have tons of customer testimonials and videos of the work that we're doing. But we do, as a business, also sell those nosings. So the nosing is the front part that is bent. It is made out of the vinyl plank board that's there. And so you can see here that line down the middle, that is where the board that's been bent into the nosing is connecting to another piece that's going on. This really is the magic of what we do with these vinyl plank floorings, bending them into nosings. Because you're no longer ending up with a difference in height or a lip covering that end bit that is traditionally called a nosing, that would then have to go on top of whatever is on the top of the tread. This is all one piece. And the nice thing about it is, you could do this installation yourself. We have lots of tips and trick videos that you can get both on our website and on our channel by hitting that subscribe button. And if you have some reasonable DIY skills, you would be able to do this yourself. Table saw and a jigsaw are generally the main things that you're going to need in order to be able to get this done. The big difference with, again, needing the table saw is one, because you are ripping the width of the boards to be putting them on the stairs. You're generally not going to be able to do that with the X-Acto knife that you could do when installing the stairs themselves. All right, so at the top of the staircase here, you can see that they have already installed the flooring above the stairs. Ideally, we would be putting the nosing or the lip into place first, and then they would be continuing on afterwards. But this is one of the reasons the customers had us come in. So we made this nosing custom so that it'll be the right distance from the edge, and we're going to be both getting that nosing in place, covering what was there before, as well as getting it clicked into the flooring above. Really important that the nosings that we make are clicked into the flooring above, as they are going to help hold them into place. But the flooring above does not need to be all glued down like the landing does, because the stairs at the top and their length and size are going to hold it in place. All right, there's that finished product. Let's remember what it was, those bottom stairs, and the finished result there. So much better, very beautiful. And at the top, we had that landing and the steps. And after installation, there it is. Those white risers really are beautiful. And there we have it from the bottom to the top. Please make sure to hit that like button as well as hitting subscribe. You can check out all those other videos and tips and tricks about putting vinyl on your stairs and the installation itself and how to pick the best vinyl. And we will see you in the next video.